got the ends gooped up, and I'm going to take my little buddy here, set it down here, and we're outside the width, and we're about the right height, so I'll just slide it in. There, that one's in. Let me go ahead and put some anti-seize on the bolt, and there's a washer that goes underneath it. We'll stick that in. I think I might even, once I get the bolt, we'll come up. I'm going to put some more anti-sealant around the threads before I put it all the way in. We'll go close up on that. Oh, like I said, we've got anti-seize on the threads, and we might as well. I'm going to put a nice bead of silicone on the underside. I was thinking about putting a fiber washer or a rubber washer in, but I think this will do. I'll let that be, let it set up. Do that on all of the threaded ones. Anti-seize first, and then put a little bead underneath the washer. Seal it off. The more you do now, the longer this thing is going to last. Let me go ahead and slide the other side in. And I can't say enough about saving these little cardboard things for keeping everything lined up. We've got our silicone, you should be able to see in here. We'll just slide this in. There we go. Now it's going to come out now. So can that one. Now I'll put some another anti-seize bolt and washer and some more silicone around there. You've seen the one, but we're going to be doing that in all of them. Now we're up at the leading edge of the nose, and we'll put a big gob. I mean, this is going to be out in the airstream, so don't go light on the silicone down here. Get up there. Stick. Do that heavily on both sides, on the flange or the bevels here, and then on the ends of the tube, which we'll do next. Well, now you can move up the two of the extra ones, because the ends can set on their own now to support that tube at the right height. And also one of the outside packing strap things makes a perfect holder for while you're putting the silicone around the tube there. So I'm going to do those two sides, that one and the other one, with two good sweeps. I've already got the bevels on the end of the tubes, the receiving side already gooped up pretty good. So we'll come back. Well, I discovered that actually it works better laying on its side like that, because then they can hold it up on both ends and keep them out. So I did it that way. And I also, I don't know if you can zoom in here to see it, I put an extra ring right around here on the bowl holders right here, so it's down between where the flange, the reduction is right here, where the other one will end up. So I give it just a little bit. This one's going to be out in the nose, so it's going to take probably get the most water trying to come down it, so really apply it here. So now we can go ahead and lift this guy up, rotate over, and sliding in. Should have some mineral spirits to clean up the excess. joint should be waterproof once this sets up. And again, we're going to anti-seize the 2 bolts that go in here. And whoops, get back in there. And we'll continue on. Instructions, I think, also said to have the back one in, the one that pins in now. So, but it fit pretty good without it. Instructions said that this would go on. This is heavy. Yeah. I think you could lift the whole truck with this thing. There's a couple latch pins that pull out, and they got this infrared. Bolts are drilled at an angle, so this thing will only go on one way. And that's the way. Okay. Put the pins back in. And this one doesn't get silicone, this bin. Powder coated inside the cups here. Okay, so that part's done. So now I gotta lift it up and put the legs on. So let me prep for that. Clean out some of the stuff under here. Well, now is the time to put the legs on. I've got my chain fall, or all my pulley block up to the, holding it up there. So I guess I'm just going to take, I couldn't see any stampings which one was left or right, so I'm going to just put them on the way I see them. So let me go ahead and get the other one out of the way and get the tubes, the bevels gooped and the tube gooped. Well, I've got the ends gooped, so let's see if we can lower this down. Voila. We'll do the same thing to the other side. Let me go ahead and clean it up, and I'm going to anti-seize the bolts and put some more silicone underneath the washer. I'll do that off camera. Well, we got the last one all lubed up. Start lowering it down. Cool. I'm going to go ahead and put the bolts in, and we'll come back on a final tighten up and clean up. Well, it's all assembled. Now I'm going to go and tighten everything up. This part, the crossbar part, and the nose piece. I think on the legs, I may or may not tighten them down until I get it on the truck. I don't know if it'll make any difference or not. It's either going to be flat or it isn't. I'm assuming it probably coming from the factory and as well made as it's been and fitting as it's been. It should be perfectly flat. But it doesn't matter. It's going to be setting on my liner, the bed liner, and that has a little bit of undulation on it anyway too. So let me go ahead and do this, and we'll come back. I've got to, before I get it on the truck and mount it, I got to take the bed liner out so I can drill from underneath once I get this set up on the truck, which can be maybe fun. I got to lift it up again and drive the truck underneath it and put some long 2x6s across the bed so I can lower it down and then center it and then pull the 2x6s out. So, but it's time-wise, I started at about 12:30, and it's maybe 10 after 2 right now. And you know, I mean, all the moving around, setting up the camera and all this other stuff, I think you could probably have it by yourself assembled in an hour and doing well, you know, doing the silicone and the NICs on the threads. So it goes together pretty well. You'll know that it's not fitting. The first time I put these parts together, they weren't fitting, and then I realized that I had crossed. They looked like I was on the right side, but they weren't. So it all fits. We'll come back later. Well, I've got the bed liner out of it, and I've got it suspended from the ceiling of the carport. Didn't take much effort, and I got a big. That was the test thing I was using. That 2x6 there. I cut it down to 68 inches to see how much it would stick out. But I'm using it as a protector block, and I'm also using them cardboard inserts there as protection in case. I don't want to bang it in case it wants to pendulum around on me. So I've got some other boards in the back to lower it down. So let me go ahead and lower it down off camera. I don't want to cry. Well, I've got it squared up 4 1/2 on each side, so it's equal distance. The leading feet down in here is equal distance on both sides, and I had a piece of 1/4 inch plywood that I ran along the inside before I clamped them down. I loosened up these leg bolts like I said I was going to do. So let me go ahead and get the drill out, and we'll drill these things. And well, I've got them all bolted down on the 4 corners. So let me go underneath here and see if you can see what I've got, the holes I'm using. Now this is the tail bracket. And then here is the first, there's holes all along here, and I used this one, and then I put this universal nut because I'll be able to get my socket on through the holes that you access this with. So let me go ahead and remove the bolts and put the bed liner back in and then screw it down. So it's about 4:30 now. Well, I had to lift it up again and support it, and then drive out. I couldn't get the liner back in, but the liner's back in, and holes are lined up. So now I'm going to drop it and screw it in place, and we'll come around. Well, I've got it on. The only thing I haven't put on yet is the adjustable bar, and I haven't decided where I want to put it at, so I'll keep it in storage for the time being, and then I'll stick it on. But all I have left to do now is tighten down the bolts on the legs here. I loosened them up a little bit when I drilled them, and the longest thing was trying to find a drill bit that was sharp, and then drilling up through that. Some pretty tough material. So it's all in. I'm going to clean up now and put everything away, and maybe I'll do another little ending thing here showing you out in the sun. Hopefully it's getting dark. It's probably about 6:45 or 5:45 now, so we'll have another one outside in the sun, and a close up as to what I thought. It's the next day, and I wanted to do a little follow-up on the rack here. I put on the crossbar, the adjustable crossbar. That comes with the SureFit model that comes in a box that you put together. You get the nose cross piece, the middle cross piece, and then the removable back. But on the put it together yourself SureFit models, you get this extra in here that is adjustable. But once you get it fit, you probably won't have to move it that often. But it fits so tight, you'll probably have to unloosen it to get it to slide in a little bit to take it to get it off. But I did add had some gaffer's tape that I put underneath the inside of the clamshell and on the outside. It's like a heavy-duty friction tape, just so I don't want to mar the beautiful finish that the employees at the Racket put on. The guys, hats off to you. You did a great job on this thing, and I'm a welder, so I've gone around and looked at the weld joints, and they did an excellent job on the welds. There's no blowouts, and everything is no pits. Everything's nice and smooth and even welds. So the guys are experienced, and gals, if there's gals working there, they did a great job on that. Everything fits. And so I'm going to go ahead now and give it a wax job. And I can see I got a couple places here where I got some stuff I need to clean up with some mineral spirits on the silicone. And that's the other thing, you know, you spend, you know, as much money you spend on this rack, you want to keep it for as long as possible. So a $5 tube of silicone, you know, I like the clear the best, I think, over maybe a black color. And it's probably easier to find the clear, but you know, really goop it on good. And so I'm going to go ahead and get the turtle wax, paste wax out now. I'm going to give this a good wax for the winter, and we'll come up again on. I'm going to take the nymph back in the barn, and I'm going to put wheels on it, like I wanted to do from the get-go. But we're going to do a modified version of the dagger board. So, again, I love my rack. If you're looking for a rack, then I'd contact them down. Call Gary, the sales manager down at the Racket People, and get one set up for your truck. So, see you later.